For something that we could braise that's like maybe end pieces of short ribs or maybe pieces that you just can't use.
Okay, for short ribs, we cut these center cuts for everybody.
Wait a minute, you get these fillets?
Hey! How are you?
Hey,
good to see you, Bobby. How's
Thanks for
everything?
having us. Appreciate it. What's up?
Yeah, he didn't give us the fillets, though.
Short ribs, nice and meaty on both sides. And when you get towards the bottom of the plate, you have these pieces that it's just basically bone and fat, but there's still a good amount of meat. It's not as meaty as this one, so we're kind of stuck with these ends.
Yeah, but it's going to be crazy flavorful.
And we're giving them a
Flavor insane. Everyone wants the center cut short rib.
Right.
They don't know what to do with this end of it, and it causes all of this byproduct.
Customers fall into habits, and so do we.
Sure.
I got like 12 dishes I can make with this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you gave like a seminar every once in a while and brought like 10 chefs in like once a month or something, once you actually focus for like even 10 minutes, like you start thinking about stuff.
Just like right now.
That's a great idea. No, you're right.
It's good to see stuff because it makes us think.
So you want to take some of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean-
I think this will be perfect. We could do a little bit of tongue, a little bit of short rib, that cabbage you found today.
Oh, great. You bring the short ribs, I bring the cabbage.
Sounds like an Irish story.
Finally finding some additional meat for their entree, Bobby and Michael head back to the kitchen for one last meeting with the food safety inspector. Ann and Alex are close behind. Randy studies and tests all the food that both teams have collected today, and absolutely everything passes.
You guys are perfect today.
That's good news for both teams, but astonishing that all of these wonderful ingredients were on their way to the garbage. But can the chefs organize all of this into a gourmet meal for 100 in under 24 hours?
We got a lot of stuff to work with.
It's going to be hard to narrow it down. We have to start like thinking about editing.
The thing that we have to be careful of is not just using stuff for the sake of using it, you know? There's a pasta dish, there's some fish, there's some chicken, tartane, chocolate. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah! Today is the day we're actually going to cook all the food that we got. We feel like we could do about a dozen dishes, but we're going to do 2 dishes.
I'm feeling this burst of energy building inside me like a waste management tsunami.
I feel good. I mean, we have a lot to do. I want to get in the kitchen and start cooking.
This is where the magic happens.
Each team has 2 prep chefs to assist them, along with access to a pantry of basic cooking ingredients like oil, salt, and pepper. The teams meet to discuss their menus and their tactics.
So I was thinking a fried oyster, a chicken, and a fish raviolo.
Of course, we're going to do, we're going to take the squash blossoms. We're going to make a filling with ricotta cheese, fresh ricotta cheese. We're going to make a basil pesto and fresh corn.
The men divided their responsibilities when sourcing their ingredients. Bobby is taking the starter and Michael the entree.
We're going to make a hot roast, braised beef tongue, braised beef heart, and some short ribs. There's some carrots and parsnips, so if you could just start cutting them up for mirepoix. I'm going to start butchering all the meat.
Ann and Alex are working more closely together, with both of them involved in both courses.
Let's do a trio of desserts. What do you think? Like
Roasted peaches. Those peaches I got were incredible.
They have an abundance of ingredients, and that seems to be shaping their menu.
I definitely want to do something with the Ferrara espresso and cocoa, a little maybe granito.
the corn. Let's make a corn dessert, like
We
a
have
corn
to.
flan, a corn custard.
Are you guys ready? Yep. All right, let's go.
Ann begins making pasta for the raviolo, using odd-sized eggs that would never make it to market, and leftover flour that was headed to the garbage. Alex gets to roasting the fallen tomatoes for the soup, which otherwise would have gone to the compost heap.
I cannot believe these tomatoes were going to get thrown out. Look at that. Gorgeous. Aren't they beautiful? Seriously. Look at that. They were the rejects that fell on the ground that they say they can't sell from the shape and whatever.
Bobby is working on the filling for his squash blossoms, using the unharvested corn that no one wants to pick, while Michael is preparing the usually unused meat cuts for his pot roast.
The hearts are really beautiful. They just weren't going to sell.
Potatoes are on for the filling. Fish is going in for the filling. In the meantime, I'm going to rice the potatoes.
Only one team can come first, and everyone in this kitchen wants to win.
We're ferociously competitive. We just want to beat the guys.
Alex, what do you think about this for an entree? We should give 2 slices of chicken. I don't want them to look at ours and be like, the boys did all the food and the girls didn't.
I know you want to use the marrow, but maybe we use the marrow in the sauce. So that
I think an advantage that we might have is we've done several battles as a team on Iron Chef together.
They're divide and conquer, and, you know, the girls' team is all about the love.
I'm really curious to see what they're gonna make. There's a pasta dish, there's some fish, there's some chicken, there's some stuffing, there's pear, tartane, there's, I mean, chocolate. I don't know what they're doing.
Once the tomatoes come out of there, can we just put all of them in there and we'll pass all of this to the food mill?
Do me a favor, go into the refrigerator and find me all the ricotta cheese. There should be 2 big containers like this and then small, yes, exactly. Get it all.
Bobby is using ricotta cheese that was headed for the dumpster and basil that was on its way to the compost heap. But he's still short some key ingredients for his starter and has to get resourceful.
Michael, I'm gonna show you something never seen in a kitchen before. We're making a pesto, but we have no pine nuts, no walnuts, no pecans, no nuts, no Parmesan cheese, right? Yeah. We want a little bit of texture. So we're gonna go basil, garlic, salt and pepper, just a couple of these, all butter shortbread, because it's gonna create a little texture to it.
You've been wanting to use those shortbread for 2 days.
Well, also, now I get to eat one. Got these from a store called Chelsea Market Baskets in Chelsea Market. Imported from England, they're delicious. Shortbread pesto, first time in the history of food.
It's a Bobby Flay moment.
Let's hope it's a good one. But this is delicious and gorgeous. This cabbage came from Lawrence Farm Orchards. They didn't want to pick it because it was too small or it had a bruise on it or something. It's, you know, look at it now.
The guests for tonight's banquet begin to arrive. Restaurateurs, foodies, and tastemakers. All with a special task ahead of them. They will be the ones casting their votes and deciding who did the best job of turning waste into taste. But no event would be complete without some critics. And although they will not be voting, Donatella Arpaia, Jeffrey Steingarten, and Karine Bakun will share their thoughts on a banquet made with ingredients that were all headed for the trash. So if the guests are all here, that means the kitchen clock is about to run out.
Chefs, for 15 minutes from appetizer. 15 minutes.
This is game time. Like the practice is over, the drills are done, the buzzer's about to go off, they're gonna throw the ball in the air, and we're gonna tip off. The squash blossoms are damaged for the retail customer, but you know, a little batter and some filling, it's all good. Start picking up. Once they have the green leaf on it, you can go, okay?
Bobby sends up his starter, crispy squash blossoms stuffed with ricotta cheese and corn and served with 3 sauces.
I think what's inside is ricotta.
But it's not just ricotta. It's great.
It's delicious.
There's nothing here that anyone in his right mind would throw out.
It's a premier dish to me. I mean, this is an appetizer I'd serve in my restaurant.
I'm gonna go home and try to see if I can recreate it. I'm looking for squash blossoms in any trash can I can find them.
We have a serious problem. Food like this should not be going to waste.
The winner of tonight's event
The Big Waste Banquet is in full swing, and the guests have enjoyed a starter made from ingredients, all rescued from the trash. Bobby has started his team off strongly, and now it's Michael's turn in the hot seat.
Browning one side of the tongue so there's some nice texture on there. That's it, then they're ready.
We're ready, Mike.
I'm ready. Servers, we're just gonna be putting them up. Does this plate look like waste? All this was gonna be waste. Reality of is in a restaurant in New York, you get $17 to $22 for this.
Michael sends up his entree, beef pot roast with sweet and sour cabbage and a side of potatoes.
I think it tastes really good.
They tasted like center of the plate meat pies.
When you bite on it, it really melts. So that's really good.
It was amazing. I don't care who cooked it. Yeah, it was very good. I want the recipe.
Now only the women and the 2 remaining courses are left in the kitchen.
We might finish in this century, I'm hoping.
Remind me to...
Bobby and Michael begin to relax as Ann and Alex work hard to get all 100 of their entrees out to the guests.
Wait, that comes first. You're ready?
It's snapper and halibut raviolo in a chicken and seafood soup with stuffed chicken leg and a fried oyster.
The oyster is the best part.
I love the oysters, I love the halibut, and I love the red snappers.
This actually was a fun dish.
There's no rest in the kitchen as Ann and Alex painstakingly prepare their trio of desserts.
Chef, we need the desserts whenever you guys are ready.
Let's start.
Do we have more caramel for these or no?
Ready?
Rock and roll.
The women get their last course out. Sweet corn flan, peach tartane, and frozen affogato.
Smells good.
Ah, it smells delicious.
They're very good.
The flour delicious.
You would never know that this is discardable ingredients.
3 really nice desserts, perfect little bites.
I'm sorry. Can I have another one?
It's getting a big A in my book.
Still in shock that they've just been fed an entire meal that was essentially garbage, the guests place their votes.
I'm sitting with all these foodies who are like literally dissecting these plates of food. And for me, a good meal is a good meal.
While there are differences of opinion about which dish was the best, everyone is in agreement that what they were served tasted nothing like garbage.
We have a serious problem. We do. Because food like this should not be going to waste.
I just feel like there's so many hungry people in this city and in this country that it's a shame to be wasting any food. And the food has been delicious.
I hope that it'll inspire so many people not to throw away what they think might be garbage but isn't.
You don't know where it's come from, but you know when it hits the table, it's phenomenal.
Nice job, guys.
Oh my God.
Oh, we're like a ghost.
Finally, after much slaving over a hot stove, the chefs leave the kitchen.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right. Let's everyone give a nice round of applause. Welcome the chefs. Come on in.
Critic Donatella does the honors and calls the chefs in to see their guests and announce the winning team.
The standard of cooking tonight was amazing, especially when we think that the ingredients were rescued from the trash. As critics, we usually have the final say, but tonight, you were the deciding vote. The winner of tonight's event, let's hear it for the boys.
I think it's a great lesson that you could take all these wonderful things, sometimes even things that chefs like us overlook. We thought all the food was delicious, but it literally came from nothing into dinner.
When you go to a supermarket and there is a blemish the size of one of my freckles on it, people don't buy it. And they have to go to waste. It's almost unbelievable. I feel like I should run for sanitation commissioner.
The chefs have achieved their challenge. They spent 2 days collecting food headed for the garbage, and then 1 day preparing a gourmet meal for 100 people. And yet what they found is only a fraction of the big waste that we create in America every single day.
I have a different sense of what the definition of waste is when it comes to food now, because you just need to learn how to use it.
I think now when I do buying from my restaurants, I'll think a lot about not minding so much nature's imperfections.
It was an experience that I'm really glad that I had. Makes me think twice whenever I put anything in the garbage.
It's very, very eye-opening. I tell you, when I go to the grocery store now, I'm going to buy the lonely apple with the spot.
Somebody else can have the one that they think is perfect.